The Harley Davidson cooling vest for $65. Is it worth it? Let's find out. Well, we arrived in Loveland and I'm at the Thunder Mountain Harley Davidson dealer. Good place to stop because now we're in total traffic and about to go into Denver. And I was freezing all morning. We were in the 50s, low 60s, but guess what? Now we're arriving in Denver. $92, and I'm gonna be in heavy traffic. I think it's time for the cool vest. Let's see if it works. So I got my ice bag with my cool vest in here. Still a little bit of ice, not bad considering it's noon and I started at 6:30 this morning. But again, it's been pretty cold, but not anymore. Mid-90s now, let's try the cool vest out. This ice bag works good for medication as well. It rolls up nice and small, fits great in this bag. You can see we got a little bit of ice left in there, not a lot. Just a little bit of water. So we'll retain the water in case we need to recharge. So the vest is dripping wet. And as I've learned, the key is not to wring it all out, but I'm not looking to get completely soaked. If you were in the desert and just wanting to go, I just put it on completely damp. And I'm gonna wring out just a little bit, not too much. Another thing I did is I went with a swim shirt underneath my mesh jacket. So I figured this can get totally wet, but it dries, and it still allows air through. So my hope is this will allow the cooling. Let's find out. It's like jumping into a swimming pool on a hot day. How long will it last? It feels great to start. This sucks, but so far it's cooling me off. Makes it a little better. All right, so an hour and a half with the cooling vest. It's still a little damp, not too damp. It's dried out quite a bit. It worked great for the first hour, but then it just felt like a wet rag. It wasn't cooling too much. I think it'd be better without any shirt. Just put it on your bare body. And of course the jacket did keep it wetter longer. So I think if you had no jacket, just wearing the vest, it'd dry out pretty dang fast. You gotta be moving for it to work. In traffic, it really doesn't work. Is it worth it? I don't know. That's up for debate. For $65, it's thin, it fits well, and it did hold moisture, but is it worth it? So this will cool you only if air is moving across it. And I had it underneath my mesh jacket, which I think allowed it to stay wet longer. If you wore this vest in the open air on your motorcycle, I think it'd dry out really fast. But with my mesh jacket over it, it lasted about an hour and a half. It was still pretty damp at an hour and a half. But what I noticed is as I sat in traffic, it really just felt like a hot, wet rag. It really wasn't cooling. And then when I was moving, I had to be going pretty fast. So I had to get up in that 75-mile-an-hour range to really get any effect. So while I liked using my mesh jacket over it, I do believe it was prohibiting the air from flowing through this vest. It is thinner than the last one I tested, which is an advantage. So it's not so heavy to wear when it's wet. But at the same time, it doesn't hold as much water. So it dried out pretty quick. One thing that really worked out was this ice bag. I really liked it. It didn't leak at all, and it really didn't have any condensation, so everything in my bag was dry. But I was able to roll up that vest and fit it in here pretty easily. So even with the vest in there, I had plenty of room for ice. And the beautiful thing is the ice melted and kept the vest wet and cool. So when I initially put it on, it was quite refreshing. You get 2 of these bags and they're really reasonable. And again, you can use the cap to let the air out to compress it down. Or if you don't put your clothing in here, you could pull the cap and drink the water as the ice melts. Or maybe you could fill it with your favorite tequila mix as well. But I don't endorse riding and drinking. So would I recommend the Harley Davidson cooling vest? Well, for $65, I will say it's well made. And it's very thin and it rolls up really small, so it's easy to store. And it did give me some relief for about an hour. After that, it wasn't that great. So is it worth $65 for an hour of relief? I guess it would depend how much misery you're in. On the other hand, this swim shirt really worked out. It was kind of a last minute idea. I threw it in my saddlebag. And wearing the cooling vest over this, I think worked well. But I also think you could just put this in your ice bag and get this nice and cold and wet and just put this on. I think it would stay wet for about the same amount of time. Plus, it's just a really light shirt as you're riding. So if you get rained on, it'll keep you a bit dry, and then it'll dry really quickly. And it also added some real warmth. So when it was freezing in the morning and I had this underneath my mesh jacket with the liner in, it really worked. It's just so lightweight and easy to pack. I'm thinking I'd grab a couple of these for my next road trip. Link in the description if you want to check it out. So I sure hope you found this information useful. And if you did, you'll go share it with someone else. But until next time, in the friction zone.